first down. They fake it to him. His first pass as a Redskin is a completed pass to Jordan Reed, and Reed took a big hit. Penalty flags, third down 2.
And they give it to Tariq Cohen.
They're unable to pick up the first down, and now you've got Cleveland on their side of the 50.
Jets get home. Backs in the National Football League going in motion right now. The handoff to Anderson. Anderson picks up the first down and then some. Third and 8. Bryant, red zone. Touchdown Falcons. That's Calvin Ridley. His first NFL TD.
First goal from the 1. Freeman, straight ahead. Touchdown.
Against the Eagles last year.
That ball again complete. This time to the rookie. DJ Moore has some room. DJ Moore, touchdown Panthers. 51-yard score.
What's good, Del Val? It's your host Dan Corbett again for another installment of DVU Overtime. I'm blessed to be here with 3 of my co-hosts this year. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
I'm Justin Briggs. I'm a sophomore. I play on the football team here at Del Val. It's my first year being in the DVU podcast.
I'm Shane. I'm a junior here. My first year with the club. I'm excited. We're going to talk about some good stuff, get into some good topics, and talk some sports.
I'm Michael Hamick. I'm a senior too. I run track, and I'm just ready to get started.
Awesome. So we're going to start off with talking about last night's game. And I'm looking right at you because you're a Jets fan. So I need you to explain to me, like, what's your analysis on last night's game?
So, and you guys are, listen, you're not Jets fans. You don't know what I've been through, and you guys are all saying, all 3 of you, man, the Jets should have pulled that out. They should have won that game last night. But what happened last night is what the Jets do, and they take disappointing and they almost make it like an art. Like the Browns are bad. We know the Browns' history. We know what they've done over the last couple of years. And the Jets, they're almost the same, as if they can build your hopes just to crush it. And I was watching this football game last night, and there were specific moments that stuck out to me. Now I'm a Jets fan. I try to keep it low key, but there are moments in the game where I get really mad because I can't. And as a Jets fan, and if you're a true Jets fan, you know what that moment was last night. It was, they were up 14-0. We had all the momentum. And the Jets put Tyrod Taylor. The defense looked like the Chicago Bears, 85 Chicago Bears last night against Tyrod Taylor. And we put him 3 and out where Taylor couldn't complete a pass. And we had all the momentum, about 6 minutes to go in the half. And then a flag comes out where Jermaine Johnson, he sticks the ball in the chest of Jarvis Landry, and he gave him a first down. And as a Jets fan, I instantly went through my head, this is going to come back to bite us. So the Browns get the first down. Now, they didn't go on to do much in that drive, but if you don't remember, Tyrod Taylor got sacked, which sent him to the tent for concussion protocol, and that's when Baker Mayfield went in. And it's almost like, I don't even know how to go about this because Todd Bowles, I like Todd Bowles. I don't want to like say send him out, fire him, but when it comes to in-game adjustments, I really think he's one of the worst coaches in football. and in the division where you play with the New England Patriots and they have Bill Belichick and the guy who's the best at it ever, it's like Todd Bowles, when Baker Mayfield entered that game, we were shutting down Tyrod Taylor. We knew how to get to him. We know how to make him play, make bad passes, get in his head. And Baker Mayfield comes in this game and it's like we didn't know what to do. They weren't blitzing. They weren't running the same schemes. They were dropping back. Baker Mayfield, who threw some, I give him all the credit because he played really, really well last night, threw some incredible balls. And it was just like the same thing. It's just as a Jets fan, you knew when Baker was entering the game. I know I texted you guys, I texted my friends, I texted everybody. I was like, this is where the game's about to turn around. It's about to go south. And I saw it coming. As soon as Jermaine Johnson, I'm not exaggerating, got that penalty, gave him the first down, I knew that this game was going to turn around some way or another. And it did. So the Jets came out in the second half, only scored 3 points, and the Browns went on to win it. And it's just like, I woke up this morning and I was like, this team makes me so numb that like, I don't even know, like I told myself all week, trying to prepare myself, like, Jets about to hand the Browns their first win in over 2.5 years. And like, I've been telling myself all week, and it still stinks. I don't even know what to make of it.
Well, speaking of Baker Mayfield,
Well, you got to think it's kind of hard to prepare for Baker. You've been
Yeah.
preparing for Tyrod all week.
It was said. It was said
Yeah.
that the Jets did watch some film on Baker. Now, how much film? I don't know.
Yeah, probably
maybe
not a lot.
they were watching Hard Knocks. I don't know because they did not know what to do with the guy when he entered the gate,
right?
and they couldn't play against him. Now, I give a lot of credit to Baker. He played really, really well, and the moment the kid was drafted, nobody could tell me that this kid wasn't going to be a good player because I think with his accuracy alone, he can play in the football league for a long, long time. So I give a lot of credit to Baker, but it's just the typical Jets. I mean, that's what they do. I can't even tell you how many times they melted down in the fourth quarter last year. It's just when it comes to in-game adjustments, Todd Bowles doesn't know what to do. When it comes to the third and fourth quarter, when other teams are figuring out what you're doing good and counteracting with something else, Todd Bowles doesn't know how to adjust. And that's why I don't think he's going to be head coach for much longer with his football team. And I don't know if it's the end of this year or the end of next year, but I don't see him. And when that day comes and he is fired as the Jets head coach, there's going to be two games that stick out to me. Week 17 against Buffalo when they had to win to make the playoffs, and they absolutely didn't even, they crapped the bed, and then this game against the Browns. Those are the two games that are going to stick out in my head as of right now. Hopefully it doesn't get much worse.
Do you think that Dez Bryant should be on an NFL football team, one of the 32 teams in the NFL right now? Do you matter of fact, do you believe that he deserves a spot?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he does. He's a good player. You can't deny. And a stat that I didn't even know until I read the other day, that Dez Bryant has the most reception touchdowns of any Cowboy player ever.
Yeah.
Even Michael Irvin. I did not know that. And how long did Michael Irvin play there? His entire career. So, I mean, there's specific teams that I think we can point out and say, like, they are a possibility. If I was Dez, my first thought when Dez got released is he's going to Redskins. I thought when they signed Alex Smith, when they traded for Alex Smith, they were going to try to get him weapons. And I immediately thought within a couple of weeks he would be there. So I don't know. I heard that he refuses to play for anything less than $5 million. And that's not what the Browns are willing to give him, so that's why he didn't sign there. And so we'll see what happens, but he's a good player. How many times has Dez Bryant caught a touchdown in the red zone where he was completely covered? Like, the guy can just go up and get the ball.
That was
anyone I've ever seen. Like,
I was saying, but that's 2014 Dez. I don't think Dez got that anymore.
And then it goes back to him playing with Romo and then him playing with Prescott. I don't know. I think Prescott's a good quarterback. I don't know how good he is.
That's what all my friends say. They say, "Oh, Dak was throwing bad passes," but I feel like
it's not even bad passes. It's just it could change your whole rhythm of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak, he might not have known how to get him the ball like Romo did. Not necessarily bad passes, but situational things.
A jump ball,
Yeah, like a jump ball. I don't know, and I don't know if he was mentally right playing with Dak. I don't know. I felt like.
But when you play with a running game and an offensive line that Dak Prescott was handed to him his freshman year, his rookie year, it's like that's a quarterback's dream. I mean, I feel like any quarterback, you could take a C+ quarterback and make him an A quarterback just with that alone. You don't even need if you can have a running game like that. So I have I know Dallas Cowboy fans that are friends of mine that are still not even sold on Dak. Like nobody really knows what to make of him. He had one great year last year, kind of struggled. This year we'll see what he is, but.
I thought they should have helped out Dez though. You think about it, teams want to stack the box with a Z. So I mean, before it was like, oh, we got
it's a dream.
On top with
when
Dez.
you think about it, it's a dream because there's no way that first year that Dez was on the Cowboys, there was no way they could go after them because you stacked the box to prevent Elliott. You got Cole Beasley, you got Jason Witten, you got Dez. There's receivers that will beat you, or your linebackers, your safeties, your corners, and there was no way to really. And now that they got rid of Dez. And I know they got, Tavon Austin. I know they got him, and he's a speedster, and he had a great touchdown the other night against the Giants. I don't know if they take the running game away, I don't know how successful they'd be pass the ball through the air. And there was also a rumor, too, that Dez could potentially, when he was spotted with Jerry Jones the other night, he was spotted with Jerry Jones the other night, and now there's rumors that he could go back to Dallas, but I don't know what's going to happen.
I think the right team would make Dez good. Like, if he has an elite quarterback, I think we should. But if he has like a Ryan Tannehill or a Joe Flacco, I don't think.
But he doesn't even.
What are some teams in mind that you think he'd end up?
Saints.
I think it'd go with the Browns.
Saints. Okay. Saints is a good one.
I guess Saints.
Him and Michael Thomas.
Yeah. But you gotta think the Saints want that.
I think they
the
would.
Saints need him too.
Yeah,
the Saints. About it. They might just be all.
They have it.
But they might not want that.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? You know?
Yeah, that's like he brings like an atmosphere. He's going to demand the ball. Like, I want the ball. You gotta realize Michael Thomas is the guy here. I don't think Dez Bryant wants to be a number 2.
A team I was thinking of too, like I mentioned the Redskins. My second team is the Baltimore Ravens.
He didn't want to. He turned him down. He didn't want to go there, and that's what I'm saying. Like
That
you
was my
don't
second
have the ability to say no. Like
Him, Crabtree, and John Brown. That's a good
That's what I'm saying.
receiving
You're
core.
going there with some other receivers that help you out, so you're not double teamed. So I feel like he still wants to be that guy where like, oh, I'm getting 15 touchdowns.
I mean, if Crabtree's still that guy that demands the ball every play, he's got to come down to earth because he's not anywhere near his prime. I mean, he had a season a couple years ago. Yeah, he'd help him out. Absolutely. So I don't know if it was an ego thing where he felt if he went there, Crabtree would take my ball. I don't know what his mindset was, but that's what my two teams. When I heard that he's released, that's the first two teams that came up to me.
I mean, I like the Packers just playing with Aaron
Yeah, you get
Rodgers.
Aaron.
Just solely playing with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron
And that
Rodgers
was-
can get him the ball.
And that would definitely re-spark his legacy of what Des Bryant was. I'm sure he played with Aaron
Because right
Rodgers.
now I'm like.
But then you have to ask yourself, I don't know what the Packers just gave Aaron Rodgers the biggest contract in NFL history.
and
I don't
he's got
know
Jimmy
what
Graham.
I don't know what their cap space situation is, and if they even want to. Like I went back to the Saints. If it ain't
You
broke,
wanna do that.
don't fix it.
You want to add this guy to your locker room.
I think he would be great on the Packers. I mean, think about it. Aaron Rodgers has Jimmy Graham, he has Devontae Adams, and he has
Jerome Miles.
and one more, Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb is not Randall Cobb from 2 or 3 years ago. Devontae Adams looks like the number one receiver, and Jimmy Graham, he's definitely not Jimmy Graham from the Saints.
Oh no.
So
Very
I
clever.
think
But I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants him. Because you see when they asked him, he said, I mean, he would help us, but I mean, we would welcome him. He didn't say, oh yeah, I would love to have this. He said, yeah, he would help us. But
you got to remember, quarterbacks, not even quarterbacks, but when you're a professional athlete, you have to keep that professionalism. Like you can't just. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I would love to have him.
But you see,
Like
That's how you get in trouble too.
Exactly.
Because then his receivers are gonna come up to him and be like, "Yo, what? What's wrong with me? Like, you
Tyrann Mathieu
think
said Des Bryant, he photoshopped his stuff into a tight uniform. So like some players do recruit.
But that's different. That's someone who's like, okay, I want him to come over, but he has nothing to do with the receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you got a quarterback saying
that was hot. I think that did that.
Who?
DeAndre Hopkins on the Texans.
Well, yeah, that's another
I thought you
receiver.
want-
Yeah,
you
but
gonna say you want him.
That's like for
I don't
example.
know.
That's like for example. And I hate to bring. I know we're talking about football, but that's like LeBron James. He's sitting there and he says, he's like, okay, I have Isaiah Thomas, and he takes a picture of Kyrie Irving or Steph Curry, and then photoshops into a Cavaliers jersey and says, I want you here. How would the press, how would the media, how would the audience look at him? They will look at him and he will become the villain again. Yeah. And that's the same thing in football. If Aaron Rodgers would have been like, if they asked him, hey, how do you feel about Dez coming over here? And he's like, oh yeah, I want Dez over here now. I want Dez over here now. I want him here. I think we're going to do well with him. I think we're going to have the best record. I think we're going to win the Super Bowl. And I think we're going to do it for X amount of years. It's going to look bad on him because all his receivers will come up to him and say, so Dad, bro, so that's how you feel about him? How do you feel about me? I'm out here giving you 110% for 12 minutes every day. I mean, every quarter of every game. I'm out here running these routes, getting hit when you throwing slant routes to me by linebackers. I'm putting my body on the line to catch the balls that you pass, that you set me up for. And you're not appreciating that I'm here for you. You're giving praise to someone who hasn't shown you anything, but I've shown you something for X amount of years. That's gonna look bad on him.
See? And that's why you can't just be like, oh, I need Dez.
And
like,
something like that will destroy a quarterback's legacy because here's the thing. I know you should know.
Yeah.
The trust between a quarterback on the line or a quarterback and a receiver is unbreakable. And once you break that trust, the connection's not there. The targets that you used to have, it could be as short as a slant route or a go route. I'm not short. It could be as simple as a slant route, a go route, or even an out route. They will be off target. I'll give you a perfect example. Look at Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens. That's a perfect example. Those on camera they look like best friends. Off camera they hated each other. Mm-hmm. They couldn't stand. They couldn't be in the same room at the same time. They hated each other, but they made it work because they said, "Listen, we professionals. We got to get the job done."
So it comes down to teams. How much money are we willing to invest in one position?
More than hurt.
I think it will help.
They don't. I don't think they.
I'm gonna bug you in.
Actually, no.
I think
I'm
Mike
sorry.
Evans and Deshaun Jackson are
He's
two receivers that complement each other perfectly.
Yes.
Mike Evans is that big possession guy that will go up and get the football. Deshaun Jackson will take the top off of any defense. I think those two guys together, like you don't get a better duo than those two guys. And I think the fact that Jameis Winston has not been able to get the ball to them like he should these past couple years is a shame.
Speaks volumes about
Fitzpatrick's been doing a pretty good job.
I'm saying it speaks volumes about Jameis Winston.
Listen, I mean,
So how do you feel about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Because we were talking about this, and you kept saying, listen, I don't know.
I'll give you a very summed up background story of what happened. So it was very similar. The Ike Impala news broke out that Ike Impala over a bet, or Geno Smith owed him money or something like that. He punched him in the locker room and broke his jaw. I remember hearing this and thinking like, this team is an absolute disaster. This season is over. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I remember Ryan Fitzpatrick from Buffalo. I remember he came in the game a few years ago when we were playing the Titans when Jake Locker went down. But I didn't know much about him. I knew that he was a gunslinger. I knew he threw some touchdowns. He threw some interceptions too. I knew nothing about the guy for the most part though. And honestly, I thought the season was over. So Ryan Fitzpatrick steps in, and we just recently acquired Brandon Marshall at the time. We had Eric Decker from the season before, and he very similarly did what he's doing right now with Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson. He fed those guys the ball. They both had over 1,200 receiving yards. They both had 10 plus touchdowns. And the whole year, like at first it was kind of just funny, like what's going on in Tampa right now. Like it was funny, like we would joke about it, like oh Fitzpatrick's the savior. And then around week 10, I really got emotionally invested in this team. I'm like, dude, we have a good football team. With the chemistry in the locker room is special. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, the guys loved him. We were winning games. The defense looked good. It was Todd Bowles' first year. It was a dream. And then we needed to beat Dallas. We had 3 games left in the season. We needed to win out if we were going to make the playoffs. We beat Dallas. We beat New England at home, and the Steelers lost. So we were in control of our own destiny, and we had to beat Buffalo to make the playoffs. And it was almost like Fitz played great to average all year, and the moment we needed him the most, he went back to Buffalo, threw 3 interceptions. They absolutely, a lot of it I blame on Todd Bowles. Fitz definitely deserves some of the blame, and it's just like, I'm telling Bucs fans now, like, you're going to do exactly what I did. It's funny at first, then you're going to fall in love with the guy, and then when you need him to perform, I don't see him, he's not going to play like this all season.
Yeah, no, I think
he's not going to play like this.
I think he'll be solid, like he'll throw some touchdowns. I think he'll be around maybe, 20 touchdowns maybe. But I don't think he'll
After watching him for 2 seasons, the thing that I've come to understand is that people talk about all the time how smart he is. He has incredible football IQ. Yeah. But the thing is, I think his brain works faster than his arm. And I think sometimes he can make tremendous throws, but then sometimes there's days where there was specific games that I could point out where his arm just wasn't working as fast as his brain. And he would throw late balls, he'd throw inaccurate balls, and it's only a matter of time before that catches up with him again. I'm telling you, if he had a Baker Mayfield type arm, I think he'd be a really good quarterback. But it's just his arm doesn't work like that. He throws ducks sometimes, and he could throw ducks accurately sometimes, but he's not. His arm strength isn't phenomenal, and I think eventually it's going to catch up with him. I don't see him playing like this. That being said, though, I did pick him up in fantasy.
Likewise.
Honestly, though, it's not a matter of whether he could play like this the whole year. I think he's just a better quarterback than Jameis Winston is, and I'm biased because Jameis Winston really disappointed me the years he's been in the league, but I think Jameis Winston is not a good quarterback in this league. I really don't think he's a good quarterback. I mean, there's been times where he can make some good throws, but there's been times where he just made some throws, and I was like, what are you looking at? What could you possibly be looking at to make that throw? Yeah. And he just turns the ball over. He's way too reckless with the ball. He's not even deadly accurate. There are a lot of inaccurate throws that he makes. And I just think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a better option than Jameis Winston at this point. And it's hard to say that because Winston's your number 1 overall pick. He's supposed to be your franchise quarterback. But I think what Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing with this team right now that Jameis Winston has basically had lets you know that Jameis Winston is not a very good quarterback.
You can't take him out because he's on fire right now.
You can't take him out. Yeah, you can't take him out.
I think they're going to.
You can't go back to Jameis Winston.
I think they might eventually. I don't think it's going to be in the next couple weeks. I mean, the way Ryan Fitzpatrick's playing, you can't take him out of the ball. But going back to what you said about Jameis, I mean, he's had a lot of hype his first 2 years in the league because, like you said, he was the first overall pick. And I remember coming out of college, they gave him the I don't know what it's called, but it's the football IQ test, and apparently he ranked like up there where like
He only lost what 2 games in his whole college career, like 1 or 2.
I mean, when it comes to football smarts, the guy's smart. I just think it's what's going to go on off the field is going to determine his career. And so
And he
far,
don't take it serious like Rodgers would. Like I
think he does take it seriously. I think he has a passion for football, and I think he loves the game. But I just think there's moments where it's not even like he
has to grow up.
He just got exactly. Like he's just got to be smarter, and I think that's what's going to make him a solid franchise quarterback for the Bucs his entire career, or him bouncing around from team to team. And I think he's on thin ice right now.
Yeah,
he really
he's
is.
on some thin ice.
He's on some thin ice. I told myself last year, I thought the Bucs were going to be a good team last year. Like I said earlier with Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, I thought that duo was going to be fantastic. And I told myself, it was his third year. This is where you make your money. This is where you, as a quarterback, you got to become something your third year, and he didn't answer the bell at all.
Last segment of the day. Who's your big winner of this weekend and why? I'm going to start with you.
God. It would be a huge win for the Chargers if they could beat the Rams. And I'm guessing that game, well, obviously it's in LA somewhere, but is that a home game for them? Does it even matter at this point? It's a home game for the Chargers. That would be a huge win for them, because everybody going into this offseason was saying that the Chargers could be a legit team this year. That's a game, if they win, could spark them to go on to win some good amount of ball games this year. And also, who are the Chiefs playing again?
Chiefs is playing the 49ers.
49ers. That would also be a big win for the Niners if they could pull it out.
Yeah, the Niners.
I think this is my statement. I'm going to stick by it. I think Mahomes is going to be a little human this week, and I think he's going to throw some interceptions, and I think the Niners are going to walk out with it. That's my prediction.
Justin.
Was thinking, I think I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going against Pittsburgh.
Yes, I mean, it's about Pittsburgh defense.
You're going against Pittsburgh. I think Tampa Bay can pull out a win against another legit team, like a legit powerhouse. I think Tampa Bay is going to raise some questions as to whether Jameis Winston will be back in this starting lineup. Of course, there's already questions out there. It's only going to bring more whispers into the ear of the head coach. Hey, Ryan Fitzpatrick's getting it done. He's getting it done. He almost has as many wins as Jameis Winston had all of last year. So we got a decision. 3-0 if they win this game. That's better than Jameis Winston ever done. So.
All right, well, I'm going to go with 2. One of them being the Colts.
Okay.
I think they're going to have a big. That's going to be a big win if they win. And the only reason I'm saying that is because one, we saw last week with Deshaun Jackson how not even Deshaun Jackson, how Ryan Fitzpatrick torched the secondary of the Eagles.
I think we'll get better for some though.
And that, I mean,
the line is suspect.
Yeah, you're right. The line is suspect, but I will say, Andrew Luck, yes, he does have a tendency to throw the ball. And just like how you said with Eli, sometimes I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You graduated from Stanford, like come on, man. But believe it or not, he has T.Y. Hilton. I think T.Y. Hilton is a more I don't want to say faster, but he reminds me a lot of Deshaun Jackson. Only, I mean, because of the deep routes, but also he can go short. He can run the little short routes, the slants, the ins and the outs. So I think that's going to be a very good matchup with him and Jalen Mills.
You know who comes back into town?
Oh yeah, Carson. I know Carson. And that's another reason. That's another big reason. I think our defense.
I think it's a little rusty.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm saying that would be a big win. You know, get a win over the.
I want to see Andrew Luck go back to Andrew Luck.
Exactly.
I miss Andrew Luck. He was fun to watch.
Exactly. And hopefully, and like you, I'm with you, Justin. Tampa Bay all the way.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at Texans Giants. Loser goes to 0-3.
Ooh.
You don't want to.
Yes.
You don't want to fall to 0-3 this early. So
well, all I'm saying is J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney.
They gotta step up.
Field day.
Yeah. So
Their salary.
So
Eli's gonna throw. Saquon Barkley had 14 catches last week. It was a
Giants
Giants record, but he only had 80 yards. So I think there's gonna be a lot of dink and dunks.
I think we see Deshaun Watson for I think he played better this year. He been a little shaky the first couple of games, but I think Deshaun Watson.
Eli better get that ball. It's quick.
Well, that's all we have today for DVU Overtime. This is our first show of this year. Make sure you tune in to DVU Overtime every Friday. I don't know the time yet, but every Friday. And Hopefully we'll see you again. My name is Dan Corbett. These are your co-hosts for this year. And make sure you go to the I'm about to say Eagles game. Make sure you go to the Aggies game. This home game this Saturday at 12, playing against Alvernia. So make sure you be there. Other than that, have a good weekend and watch some football.
The birds.